official yet. We got to run DMC this. Go ahead, Joe.
Stop fucking with the mic.
Stop.
I felt that beat by the drive.
All right. Hello, Mike. How are you today?
Good. How you doing, Joe?
I'm pretty good. Are we going to run DMC? Are we run DMC?
Run DMC.
All right.
No, we're not run DMC.
All right. Do you want to? How about you introduce our guest today?
All right. Today we have Carlos. I don't actually know your last name.
Yeah, I think you would be way better off introducing me.
Okay.
That's
All
what
right.
I was thinking too. I was
Yeah, nothing against you.
I mean, I don't know anything.
No, I
about
agree.
it.
Mike's terrible at most things. So. Well, actually, I'll admit that I think I asked you how to pronounce your last name one time, and you did tell me, and I forgot.
Gaudier is one of the ways to pronounce it.
One
All
of
right, I
the
got
ways?
this. Shut up,
The
Joe.
correct pronunciation is Gaucher.
Which way do you prefer?
Gaudier.
Gaudier. You prefer the non-correct way.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is Carlos, our guest today, Carlos Gaudier. I said it the way you didn't want me to.
No.
that's
the right way.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
The incorrect
Yeah,
one.
from Avail Visuals. So we are very pleased, at least I am anyway. Mike probably doesn't care
I'm
too
excited.
much.
I've got a list of questions. I'm ready to go.
Okay, all right. But yeah, Carlos is from Avail Visuals. We have mentioned Carlos several times, or at least I have on this podcast. In all seriousness, you've taught me like pretty much everything that I have known so far about anything camera related, other than YouTube. I mean, YouTube has taught me a lot.
You
but-
just taught him like 3 things since we've been here. That
Well, that's
I'm just
true.
saying.
I mean, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
the student has surpassed. The
Yeah.
teacher.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
No, it's very true though.
yeah. So anyway, welcome, Carlos.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
It's awesome. to have you here.
Definitely a first. Never done nothing like this before. Never been on the opposite side of the camera, so
Yeah.
it's
Interesting.
a little bit of here we are.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm ready.
It's cool, man. It's cool. It's kind of fun to be on both sides of the camera sometimes. Mike's just so beautiful that he only experiences this side of the camera.
I'm a Luddite.
Is it what you always use like weird words on the podcast? What does that mean?
It's like a non-technological person, or like someone from like past technologies. I don't know, Joe. I use words I don't really know.
I know you do. The
Look
last
it
time,
up. Fact check me.
check you. I will.
All right, cool.
All right. So I mean, I got plenty of questions and things that I could talk about.
Well, dude, please do.
You want me to go
I
first?
do. Yeah.
All right.
Mine are backup questions because I assumed you wouldn't have anything.
Well, I really don't have anything in the front of my mind, but I'm sure I can pull something up. But I have already noticed that you are shaking the table. Please be mindful.
How am I going to show these arms off?
You can just sit here like this.
Let's go, guys.
Man. All right.
okay.
I know some of the answers to these questions, but tell us about Avail Visuals. How long have you been doing it? What kind of stuff do you do? Anything that comes to mind about like what you do for a living, because that's kind of like what this podcast originally started out as, like working for yourself. So,
Okay, so pretty much started 8 years ago, I would say, and it was kind of created just on some on the go type of stuff because I was making music at the time, rapped, made beats, stuff like that,
Right.
and I was doing these showcases at these local like bars and stuff like that, and I wanted footage. I wanted film of it.
Right.
So I remember, I think it was like the next Christmas, I was talking about it. My mom got me a camera, and that was kind of like the birth of it. Like,
what was your first camera?
it was a Canon Rebel something,
Okay.
T something, T5 or some shit like that. Do y'all curse? Y'all try to stay away from the cursing? Should I censor myself?
I would say
Obviously, I'm not gonna go crazy with it, but I just want to know if I should like
let
keep that out.
one fly here and there.
Okay, gotcha. So, anyways, it was like a. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like.
I'd say if you're gonna let one fly here and there, go for it. I mean, what's it matter?
All right, yeah.
My kids are watching, but it's no big deal.
So I got the Canon,
Okay.
and my girlfriend, my fiance now, she was filming me, and it was like showcases. So you'd like pay to perform, sell tickets type
Right.
deal. It was like one of those type of events, and other artists started seeing me with like a nicer camera. And you got it 8 years ago. It was
Yeah.
the technology and where we're at now. Like cell phones obviously existed, but it wasn't as like you saw a camera back then. You're like, oh, you're super professional.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right. Even if it was a Canon Rebel.
Yes, the bottom of the bottom of the
right,
bottom.
right.
So, anyways, our other artists were like, "Hey, can you film me? Do this?" And that's kind of when the light bulb clicked. I was like, "Hey, this is like a career move. This could actually pay some bills." And I was working a job that I hated, construction work, laborer. You know what I mean? Breaking my back for pennies. Just hated my life. Every morning I woke up and just hated my life. So I made and I was making good money. Because I was on scale jobs, working like government job, like on government property. So it was good money. And I was starting to, save up money and made the commitment to myself. Once I really started developing a passion for it, I was like, all right, at the end of this year, I'm going to make the jump.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally a month after I kind of made that commitment to myself, my job had like a big layoff, and I was one of them.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So it was like, okay,
Like
a little bit,
timing.
yeah, well, in my mind, it was like a little bit, I freaked out. I was like a little bit sooner than I wanted because I wanted like a year to like save and like get comfortable before I made the jump.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I remember my mom, like I told her, she was like, all right, so like, where are we applying? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I'm gonna, employ myself. I'm starting a business. And she was like, no, you know what I mean? Like, go the safe route, get something that's like, you're gonna get a paycheck, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I had, I'm gonna try to take the short route because there's a lot of different facets of the whole growing my business thing. But, my dad is in real estate. He had a lot of people in the local area that he knew. He had a good database of like real estate agents and stuff like that. And then, so like, we kind of came up with this plan to showcase all my work. Well, I didn't have that much then, but starting to take pictures, get a little bit of a catalog together to showcase to other agents.
Right.
So I did some jobs for him for free and some of his close friends for free and built a little catalog.
And this was after you got laid off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were like not making any money there for a little while? Yeah.
How old were you?
What would that, 36? So that'd make me like 28?
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Good math, right?
8 years ago, right?
Yep. So, anyways, that kind of did its thing and started. And at the time, like, mind you, I wasn't like, I want to be a filmmaker for short films or I want to do this exact thing. I was just like,
right.
What can I make money with this camera? You know what I mean? There was no like direct vision or whatever. So I started doing real estate. And then I'd say the first two things that I did was real estate and like photo shoots, just like family photo shoots of friends and stuff like that.
And were you charging for those?
First,
right in the beginning?
No, not the first couple. Everything I did first, I did for free.
Yeah.
And then to get a catalog. And then I started interning with a local videographer going to weddings. And then that's when I realized there's a whole career just in weddings itself.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, like this, like real estate was good and photo shoots were good, but that was like, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. But like, real estate, you can get way more than that.
Yeah.
So I started kind of like, just exploring my options of how to make money. And I'm a member of NA. So I was very well connected with a lot of people, and in that community, I'm gonna be careful how I say this. Like, people will support you even if you suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, go, chase your dreams,
right.
blah, blah, blah. But,
bunch of naive early recovery people.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, just like showing up. Like, I'm here for it, bro. Like, I'll share your post, do it. Blah. Anyway, it's a big boost and a big reason I feel like that my name got out there fast was because of that. A lot of people were sharing my stuff. And, I believe I had a knack for it.
Like sharing on social media. You
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Facebook was my biggest source of getting jobs.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, man. Then I started getting into weddings, and that was kind of like my main focus with real estate and photo shoots being like side money. And I mean, by the second or third year, we were doing, mind you, like there's a wedding season. I don't know the exact months, but like in a wedding season, I think like the first couple years we were doing like 40 to 50 weddings in a season.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
a
like,
lot, man.
some of them were Friday, Saturday, Sunday weddings.
Right.
Like
right.
And making good money, but in the grand scheme of like what I know now, like I was giving them away.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, that was probably an awesome way to like jumpstart the whole career. You know what I mean? Having that much work and like weddings is good money, you know, or it can be.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's all like perception. Like people see you every weekend doing a wedding. They're like, you know, like I said, I believe in myself and my creativity, but people were seeing like, man, he must be good. Everyone's using him. Like, you know what I mean?
Like he's doing it all the time. Like,
so it was definitely a good, you know, just a come up if you would, you know what I mean? And, then I got to like, I don't know, third, fourth year, and we started getting burnout. And
with weddings,
having backlogs. Like I remember one time, probably like on one of my 8 terabyte hard drives, having close to like $25,000 worth of weddings.
Yeah,
just sitting there,
right,
waiting to be edited,
right.
And not only that, but like one technical failure and like my whole business goes down. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. So I was like, let me reevaluate some stuff. I started looking at other mentors, and they were like, man, don't, you know what I mean? If everyone's saying yes to your price, you're too cheap. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then kind of went that route, and don't lowball yourself, you know, value yourself, and put yourself like in an area to where your prices are going to reflect your clientele, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying just like charge crazy amounts, but like if you, I don't know, I'm a firm believer that like if you throw like, hey, I'll do your wedding for $500, like a lot of people associate that with garbage work.
Mike and I have had that same like conversation regarding like music, you know, and like what we charge for music. Because sometimes we're like scared, like we should charge a little bit more, but then you're kind of like scared to do it.
Yeah, it's super scary.
You know, but it helps to have people encourage you, like, no, that's what you're worth. You know what I mean? Charge what you're worth. Don't lowball yourself. So yeah, I can totally relate to that.
And then once I did that, my whole clientele changed. I went from people, not to say nobody ever like bitched or wanted a revision, but it significantly changed as far as
like it got better.
Yeah. Just like the people I was dealing with, and you know, it's a touchy subject because I understand like times are hard for people, and times are, you know, no matter what year it is, you know what I mean, people struggle. You know what I mean? So I try to be careful with like how I describe that, but like it's basically comes down to like me and my business and how I want to operate it and how I want to, you know, keep it afloat.
Well, you know, I mean, the other thing is, and I'm just getting into this, but like camera gear is fucking expensive. Like it is so much money, and people, you know, it's understandable. Like they don't think about that. Same thing with music. Like you roll in there and you got like speakers and your guitar, which the guitar alone could be $3,000, you know, and you got all this other gear and like.
And it's about to rain, and they're like, well, just set up, and if it starts raining,
right.
you know, and it's like...
People don't think about, like, how much it costs to do these kinds of things, you know?
They see the in-your-face representation, meaning, like, they see the part where you show up and hit record.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't see the
or they're just thinking of, like, just the picture that they're going to get, right? Well, how much am I paying for that picture? That seems like a lot, you know what I mean? But it's like... Well, you can pull your phone out and take some photos of yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
You know, or you can go buy a guitar at you know, Kmart and sing and play to yourself if you want to, but it's just not going to be the same.
Adam Levine model.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's cool.
Once I did that, I just want to make sure I made this point. Once I changed that whole perception, and I went from like 40 to 50 weddings a season to do like 15, 20 on the high end, maybe like 10 to 15, probably preferably. I started realizing the quality of it obviously
skyrockets.
It went because you get that much more time to craft it and give it the time it deserves and really make a memorable film.
You know? Right. I imagine your relationship with the client is that much better too, because you're not, I mean, I know when I get like an influx of private parties, I start getting the people confused and stuff. Whereas like if I only have like one or two at the time, it's like I'm very focused on them. And I mean, it's a different thing than photography, but like, you know, you're really, it's a big deal doing someone's wedding. Like, you know, and they want to feel special. They want to feel like they're the only ones that you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with 50 people and it's like, what did they want? What did they want? What are their
100%.
names? You know, all that stuff.
Yep.
You can really make it an experience versus just like a job that you're doing.
So
for
true.
somebody. Yeah.
So true. You get to customize their experience.
Yeah.
Way more. And
Which is a big part of what they're paying for. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's not cheap. And that's another reason, like I said, I raised my prices. So with me, I don't just want to raise my prices because it's the thing to do or whatever. I think I'm valuable. Like, I want to raise my quality with that. You know what I mean? I want to raise, and that happened when I raised my prices because I did less jobs, but I had more time to craft it and really kind of craft me as like what my style of videography was. You know what I mean? It was like, before it was just like, you know, I don't know. It was very cookie cutter when I was the first 2-3 years. It was, to me, in my creativity, like my creative brain, it was very just copy paste. Like
Right.
to a certain extent. Like, I still had, you know, stuff that people loved and it's the greatest thing ever. Thank you so much, crying. But me as a, you know, as an artist, creative, you always have that bar. You're like, nah.
And that's like one of the big reasons why you got into it, right? Because like that when you said that cookie cutter thing, it's like that's not a whole lot different than like slapping up cookie cutter houses all day long. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
I remember that like mind frame because I worked in construction for a long time too, and it was just like if it doesn't fall down when we walk away, it's good enough. You know what I mean? It's like, and I always hated that because it just, you have no pride in your work. You know what I mean? And
I heard this thing the other day. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Can you pull that microphone in towards you a little bit?
Yeah. I was talking about like the business relationship. Like a good business relationship is when the customer and the purveyor of services or whatever both feel like basically thrilled to death with the arrangement. Like kind of like you're getting away with, like the customer feels like they should be paying more for it, and you feel like, you know, you're making money doing something that you're you know, so excited to provide that service that you kind of feel like you would do it for free almost, you know, like, and I don't know, man, that kind of reminds me of what you were saying about just putting more quality behind your, you know, behind your work. And I don't know, I've been trying to do that more with my lessons. It's like it gets sometimes where you're just like, all right, like here we go, another lesson, like just gonna get through this and get, you know, teach what comes to mind or whatever, versus like putting some thought behind, okay, this kid, like how could I actually like get into this kid's head and sort of teach them something that they might not realize they need to learn or want to learn, but in a way that keeps them excited or whatever. So
yeah, and I mean that keeps you excited too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It does it, because then you start getting you get excited about being creative again. You know,
that's honestly like one of the reasons why I got out of counseling is because, like, you know, I mean, I'm that type of person too. I want to put a lot of effort into my work. You know what I mean? And it when you're doing that with individual people who are trying to recover from addiction, it's like it can be really exhausting. You know what I mean? So I kind of got into that mind frame where I like towards the end, like I'm just going to come to work. I'm just going to do the work, and I'm going to like try to stay as emotionally disconnected as possible. And then I was like, why am I even doing this? You know what I mean?
Nobody's
like,
really getting anything out
I'm
of this.
not. And it, I'm sure it was like so evident. I had clients sometimes like, what's up, Joe? Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Like, I'm the one asking the questions here.
Just like, don't you worry about it. It's about you, not me. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, being able to like put effort into your work, it definitely helps with creativity, man, and it helps like with motivation and all that stuff. So I totally get that.
And the like, I got to feed my creativity or I'll crash, like point blank. Like if I'm not like excited, like the line of work, we're all music to video all around. Like I believe as an artist, if you're not like excited about it and exploring different avenues and route, you know what I mean? Always learning, staying like teachable and always trying to learn things. I feel like that's, as an artist, doesn't matter music or like this field, I'll crash and I won't, my inspiration will be gone. My desire will go, you know what I mean? And then like, I'll just start getting mad and I'll start jumping into the world of like you suck anyways, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many other people out here doing it, you know what I mean? And like, what's that? I'll get into that.
Oh, you mean
whole
you'll tell
headspace.
yourself that? Yeah, right.
For sure.
So, I mean, I know you have a million questions. I got one more. I'm gonna ask
this
you
is
that's
good.
kind of along the same lines of what
We're
he's
answering
already talking
most
about.
of them right now, anyways.
So, how, like, these days, like, if you can jump from getting it started to now, and based on like what we're talking about, how do you currently balance like staying in business? That's not the best way to put it. Like, how do you balance the more business, mundane aspects of your business with like staying creative and engaged and motivated? Does it just come naturally now, or is it like something you have to split your brain into two?
Honestly, to be completely honest, like I haven't stayed like vigilant in making sure it doesn't happen. It's honestly just happened a lot to where I'm getting inquiries from like all over the place. I feel like just because I've spread like my roots per se in a lot of different areas that I've had a really good, like, I'm not saying I've never had like a drought or down periods, but I've been very fortunate to like always have kind of something going on. I feel like the worst part of the 8 years was like when I was stuck in those first 3 years of like doing, like feeling like a factory, like a wedding video factory type person. But yeah, to answer your question, like I haven't really like been proactive in trying to prevent that. I know, like,
kind of happen naturally.
I know I'm always, and you'll know, we'll stay on the fucking phone call for 3 hours, and it's just like I always have something like a passion project I want to do.
Right.
Or I always have something that I'm kind of like not getting paid for, but I'm just feeding that the creative side of me.
Yeah, I still want to do that rap music collaboration. By the way, Mike, we've talked about doing that a few times, so you can be like the cameraman.
Oh,
since you're not very musically
that'd be
inclined.
awesome. I was gonna ask you, did you do freestyle rap or did you do like?
Yeah, I mean not like live, but
I'm not gonna ask you.
No, I wouldn't do it anyways. But
give us a line real quick.
Oh, I can't, man. You can't put me on the spot like that. Like that whole brain shut off. Like that brain is. It's not. It's
Mike,
right now. It's shut
Mike,
off.
rap. Come on, rap right now.
I'll backstab you with the crucifix. No.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Dude, that was dark, bro. That was dark.
Dude, this guy, like the stuff that he pulls out.
Love it.
Last 2 episodes, he talked about killing somebody.
That's not true.
It is true.
Joe, look at the footage. He's not there.
It's always rap and murder. That's all.
What's your favorite kind of project to work on?
I would say documentary. Like if I had to, I don't know if this is like a correct term, but like cinematic documentaries.
Okay, cool.
Something that like cuts right through any type of acting, or something that shows real life and will change somebody's perspective viewing it. Type deal.
Yeah.
That's where I get like my biggest reward. You know what I mean? It's like the it's not even about like someone be like, that was an amazing documentary. It's literally like just going through that process of, and I've only done a handful. I haven't done a bunch of them, but just the few that I have done, like whether it's about, like I did one with this company that was about a father that had lost a son to an addiction. And I sat down and, I'm in this man's house and we're going through like the most traumatic experience he's ever, you know what I mean? And like goosebumps right now, just because it's very personal, and for someone to open up to you like that and like just be real and raw with you, it's just game changing in my opinion. It's that's what like keeps me going, you know what I mean? I love like just diving into projects like that.
Cool.
Yeah, that one that was a really good film. Should I call it film?
Yeah. I mean it was like a short a short doc type feel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, vignettes like multi parts, right? Like vignettes make up a whole or something. Is that right?
Mosaic.
Never mind.
Vignetting, not from what I know, is like just
Okay.
black. What's a vignette, Joe? Don't
Vignette
don't give
is
me
like
on her
where
lying.
it's brighter in the center and darker on the
like
outside.
a frame kind of deal.
Yeah, right. So you were way off.
I think I saw that one documentary did 2,000 Mules. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joe has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't.
You
Whatever
gotta
in my head.
dig deep in the archive for that.
But yeah, no, that one short documentary film that you did, the shot of like the dad playing his guitar, I mean that was quite a cinematic shot for sure, and like really very emotional, So
Yeah.
I thought you did a really good
Just
job.
feel like when you do a project like that, you feel like the impact.
Right.
Like when I go to shoot a house, like the house doesn't like, and not that I need the house to cry or thank me or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's like when I shoot a house, it's just like it's lifeless. You know what I mean? It's just a house. It can be cool architecture wise. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
I've done some dope houses that are like whoa, like, it's like over the top, but it's still
There's
like
no emotion
there's
connected
nothing.
to it.
There's no depth.
Yeah.
So do you, when you, serious question, like when you shoot something like that, because I haven't seen this, but like, do you, in post-production, do you think like, how can I heighten the emotion of this with music? And I mean, obviously you're thinking about like the camera angles and everything, like, like how can I guess really what you're thinking about is how can I take this moment and make it as real looking to the original, to the person watching, or or do you try to heighten it with things like music or what?
Yes, 100%. And I would say music choice and selection of like instrumentals and what you're putting behind it, to me, can make or break the film, because it's like the curator of the, if that's the right word, it's like the it's like the foundation and it guides you. And me coming from a music background, it can be the biggest like blessing curse. Like I will spend weeks going through until I like. There's this project right now that's due today that I still haven't started editing because I haven't found the right instrumental. And it's like there's like a balance you got to have with it. You know what I mean? Like with production and getting stuff out, but that is tremendous. And to your point, it absolutely heightens or makes is transcend the right word? It makes it takes the video to another level. Mm-hmm. The music
you almost
choice
have to do that, right? Like you can't, like if you just present it flatly, like your video of it, it's never going to be as big as it was in person. So it's almost like you have to add elements to it to make it to get it to the level that it was to you when you were just experiencing it in person.
I feel like there's two sides to that. I feel like you can. And I don't want to sound like I'm backtracking myself, but there's like both sides to that. Like you don't want to overdress a moment.
Yeah.
You don't want to like
kinda
take away from the rawness of it. Like for that video we were talking about, it was a very light, delicate like piano instrumental I put behind it with like some strings that might like kind of very light, and then obviously you edit it to make the frequencies, take them down to make the voice kind of stand out more. Certain things that you do to not be like, hey, look at me, I'm an instrumental in the background. Right. It's so loud. So, and I feel like on the other side of that, there is a certain magic to like letting, like if his dad says something super impactful and you just let silence happen.
Right.
Yeah,
like strip the music away for a minute.
Like that can do something that music could never do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being in that silence.
But without the music in the other areas, it wouldn't have that impact, because it's like people don't realize it, but they're missing the music there and they don't know exactly why, but it helps the impact. Mm-hmm. Where do you get your music?
Music Bed.
Okay.
Is what there's a handful of them out there now. I used to use Artlist.
There's a bunch of them.
And sometimes
musicians putting their stuff. I think I looked into Music Bed at one point.
Yep, it's just like a bunch of handful.
That's something that you could do, Mike. Is like
you really could.
Music.
Yeah,
100% good.
That's on my list of things to get into for sure.
They have like those websites will hire photographers and videographers to sell them stock footage and stock photos and stuff, which is, I was like, wow, that's a whole thing. You know what I mean? That like some photographers and videographers, like that's all they do is just go around and take like stock footage and then sell it to, what was the one you used called?
The stock footage?
Yeah, the website you used, you just set it up.
Oh, Music Bed.
Music Bed.
Yeah.
And I'm using Envato Elements.
Yep.
And there's like Artlist. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
I get ads for Artlist all the time.
Do you? Yeah.
Artlist is really dope because they have
it's expensive.
Music Bed doesn't have videos yet, stock footage. They have, I don't think they have sound effects. So certain websites, they have like, I believe like certain tiers. So like,
Okay.
Yeah.
You got like the,
I was watching,
versions.
along the lines of the question you just asked him, I was just watching a YouTube video last night about like the impact of sound design, in videos. And this guy was just talking about like short little, similar to that, like short little, cinematic emotional clips like put together. And he's like, okay, so he shows you the scene, you know, in the beginning of the video, and it's got the music and all the sound design and the sound effects, and then he's like, all right, now watch it with none of that. And it's like, it's just like a dude skateboarding, and then this girl walking on the beach, you know, and she's getting out of her car and everything, and it's like there's silence, and you're watching it, and you're just like, wow, what a huge difference. And he talks about finding the perfect music to go along with it, right? But then like all the sound effects, so he's like, I'll find, you know, the perfect track, the song to go along with it, and then I'll watch through the video, you know, a bunch of times and look really for things that he would have heard if he was there. Like if the girl's getting out of the car, you would have heard the door open.
Or a car goes by in the background.
Right. So like if that camera didn't pick that up, now he goes to these sites, okay, car door opening, sound effect, and make sure that that's, you know, there to emphasize when she opens the door. Or
That's a whole nother edit.
yeah,
It's a
right.
whole-
And it's
It's
got to
like,
be
yeah.
placed in the mix right, so it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like the car's door that's opening here is opening over there and all that. Yeah,
And like you just mentioned too, you know, carving out some mid frequency so the voice can come through. You know what I mean? Little touches like that.
so it
Can
doesn't
take a
sound
lot
like
of time for sure.
yeah. Like if you
But
guys
that's
ever
what
seen-
separates you.
It
You know what
does.
I mean, like
Yeah.
you can totally watch like with and without, like you just said, but not even just like complete silence. Like even if you watch something that was just more like put a cool instrumental behind it and like show like a scene, and then put an instrumental behind it, show a scene with sound design.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
just
huge,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Even real subtle things. I made a couple video. I've been doing these like little announcement videos, really just a reason to play with my camera and post something on Facebook. But I added some, I don't know if they were J cuts or L cuts. Which one is where the audio comes in first? That would be, I don't know, one of the two. But like
Trying to like draw it in my head.
yeah, right. It's like I'm trying to picture it. So, have you ever heard of this, Mike? J cut or an L cut, like where you know you're in this scene and you stop talking, like you can see that I've stopped talking, but my audio from the next clip comes in first, and then it cuts to me and I'm already talking.
In the
You know what I
next
mean?
scene, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a headway to the,
Yeah,
to the
just to
video.
kind of like
Motion.
transition like smoother.
And it feels cooler for some
It
reason.
does.
It's
It's-
just like
yeah.
it feels like you know what you're doing when you do that.
But like I showed it to my mom, you know, and of course she didn't notice, but like that's kind of the point too, right?
Yeah.
Is so people don't notice. But then I was like, I explained it to her and I was like, watch it again. She's like, oh yeah, okay, I can see what you're saying, you know. And it's
She said, "Joe, you're so smart,
just
Joseph."
oh, yeah, something like that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Touch you on the head.
J cut.
Right. Little J-cut. But that little stuff, man, it really is what, like, if you just spend that extra time to do those kinds of things and like plan it, you know, when you're shooting it, like, okay, I'm gonna introduce my audio from the next clip before the end of this clip, so I need to make sure I sit here for a minute and like don't hit stop recording, like, so I have enough video to go over, you know, to overlap it.
Preparation.
There's so much of that little planning, you know, icing on the cake kind of things that that I'm, you know, learning. It's really interesting to you know, learn all that stuff. Searching those websites, like there's a fucking sound effect for, you know, scraping your foot in the sand. Like, holy, wow, that sounds amazing. You know what I mean?
You ever seen one of the reels that pop up
everything.
that someone's sitting there with a desk full of objects?
The Foley guys.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing. And I never even, like, I knew, like, I heard from producers like Timberland, he would, like, bring certain, like, you know, baby noises or certain things. Like, I don't think he brought a real baby in the scene, but he would bring certain things in, like Foley noises, I guess is the correct term. But I saw a video where someone was doing, like, cartoon.
Yeah,
Like,
the cartoon's playing and they're doing the sounds as it's going.
Amazing.
Okay.
Mind
Yeah,
blowing.
yeah,
I was like,
Yeah,
and the
it
objects
is.
that they were using,
Right.
I'm like, how did you? It had nothing to do with
Right.
the sound that they were. That
It's crazy.
yeah.
Something that sounds like that.
Yeah, that is really
I've
amazing.
seen stuff
to see.
That's
similar to
talent.
that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is talent. How did
I'm
you
like-
know that celery is
Like,
gonna
give me a
sound
straw, some duct tape,
Right,
a
right.
bottle, and you like flick it. And I'm like, what?
Very observant. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's it. It elevates it. You know?
It does,
Takes
man. It really does. It's really cool and interesting. So you got some Chat GPT questions or?
Yeah.
You've been crossing out a bunch of stuff. Already.
Well, yeah, because we're hitting most of it. I mean, there's just backup stuff because Joe doesn't prepare, but he did pretty good today. I'm impressed.
I have a serious question for you, Mike.
What's that?
Do you think that fish have emotions?
I'm questioning my existence right now. No, I don't think fish have emotions. Do you?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think they have instinct. But you know what's interesting?
Yeah,
you know
sure,
what's
that's
interesting about
different from
instinct?
emotion,
Instinct is really what you're
Think
like,
of all the salmon that go up the river. That's instinct.
Yeah, but it's really not instinct. It's their parents teaching them properly, because if you take a salmon and you raise it in captivity and then you put it out in the ocean, it's not going to swim. It's not going to do that.
Well, the reason that they go swim up the river is because that's where they were born. So yeah, they're not going to do it because they were born
take
in
a
the
bird,
pond.
like do any instinct, right? You can
Any one of them.
Yeah, like take a lion for example, right? A lion's instinct is to hunt a gazelle or whatever they hunt. I don't know.
Okay.
But like if you raise a lion in captivity and you're like,
It's still going to want to kill a gazelle.
Lion's instincts is like want to kill me, right? But I could get a lion on my side and we could be
kill the
friends.
shit out of you if I was the lion.
Anyway, I always like to hear like something crazy that happened, and if you need to get back to me on this, you can. But like a shoot where you showed up and you're like, oh, I forgot my camera, or a shoot where you showed up and like the bride was like trying to seduce you, or something like something like
every time.
What's a crazy thing that happened?
Not happen.
Carlos is like, I've got to actually put that in the contract. I will not be seduced.
She's like, I'll still pay you, but I'm
any
canceling
crazy
this wedding.
stories from the trenches of AV?
Yeah,
Avail
I
video.
I got one time I was shooting a wedding and I crouched down to do a low down shot, and I just heard it rip.
Oh,
And I mean like 8-inch
Full on
seam busted out,
Mickey Mouse boxers flailing.
and it was like at the ceremony, so it was like we still had a good bit of the day left.
Yeah.
So, and I had no change of
no change of pants.
pants, and this nice young lady had some basketball shorts.
No, you were on women's basketball.
Because I couldn't do it, bro. Like I couldn't.
Yeah,
It was like it wasn't like a little bit.
It was a big.
I mean, I had boxers on. I wasn't free balling or nothing, but it was like
Yeah.
it was enough to like I'm either gonna go home, give you some money back,
Yeah.
You like walk through your head,
right? Yeah, and I knew the people well enough to like everyone's like, yeah, it's all right. Everyone's getting a little loose by that point.
Right.
But by the end of the night, they're all drawn. Yeah, basketball shorts.
Yeah, they liked it. They will never forget that either, too.
No, never. Like I'm like business up top, ready for a pickup game down bottom with the basketball shorts.
Pre-COVID, like the Zoom outfit that everyone wore during COVID.
Yeah,
like pajamas.
Yeah. No, up top you're wearing a business suit and down.
for your Zoom meetings.
So interestingly enough, we were talking earlier about how I'm real into bags, right? And the way one of the things that led me to be into bags is, or at least like EDC, stuff is, I was the first day I worked at Starbucks. I bent down and ripped my pants, like real bad, ripped my pants. And I had to go buy pants. It wasn't the end of the world, but I had to go buy pants. I had to walk through the mall half naked to go buy pants. And from that day forward, I was like, I'm always going to have a change of clothes with me. You know what I mean? And then
so crucial.
Gotta have something to put them in. And then, if I'm going to have a bag, I might as well put some tools in there.
I had a backup shirt today, 100%. I was like, if I had like a coffee stay in me, I was like, I'm not getting set up.
Yeah, it's like bad.
That's the smart way to do it. I never do that though.
It's so
Joe, you don't have a backup anything. You don't have a backup guitar. You don't have a backup microphone.
I don't even have a backup guitar. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
I got several cameras though.
Well, there you go. Let's show where your real passion is.
Crazier. Hold on. Crazier one that just hit me. There's been a handful because it's been 8 years. So got a wedding in Philly, right? And the first look was supposed to be like the venue was right on the outskirts of Philly. Mm-hmm. The first look was going to be like in Philly. Like the bride wanted to be sitting on this like street that they met, and he's going to walk up, do the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And people book a year out usually. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you available next year? Let me book you now, type deal. Anyway, so Kate and I, my fiance that I shoot with, she we line up like, let's go down for the weekend, you know what I mean? And we'll spend a couple days down there. We'll get an Airbnb, see the city, chill, whatever. So we're leaving the day we think we're supposed to be leaving. We go up to like this gas station pump. She gets a call from the bride like, hey, when are y'all going to be here? And we're thinking we're a day early.
Oh.
And we're in Maryland, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like,
Right.
we got this. Let's, a night before we'll get settled in, blah, blah,
Right.
blah.
Right.
And Kate just turns like pale, like ghost, you know what I mean? Like she's like in Philly at our first look, you know what I mean? And we're fucking 4 hours away, whatever the distance was.
Oh, I feel it in my stomach, and it's not even happening,
Dude. And literally, like, you know, you just feel it all right there. You're just like your whole world like just turns upside down. You're just like, this is her, you know, she paid $1,000. This is the most important day of her life, blah blah. So we got to tell her truth. Like, hey, we're in Maryland. Like, what do you like?
What the hell are you talking about?
You got the wrong day, lady.
Yeah, you short today. And so, anyways, long story short, we you know what I mean, we pedaled to the metal and got to the. We got there right before the ceremony, so we were able to like slide in just enough to. I mean, we refunded them some money, and all that type of stuff. But we got in there still to get the day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, enough to like kind of. But I remember pulling up to that ceremony and just feeling
tail
like,
between your legs.
oh my god! Like
Plus, like the whole drive up there, you're probably like,
Yeah.
God, what the hell?
and you got to let go of it at some point.
Sure.
You can't, like you will just.
Because then the
So you-
relationship and the clients.
Yeah.
You just got the days mixed up? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean it was Kate. Bro. No, I mean it might have been, but I can't exactly remember. But yeah, she scheduled.
We need to get Kate on here
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
time, see her side of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. She
Let's
would have.
dial her in right now.
Kate, we got you live. No, but
So Carlos says
Yeah.
that it was
Yeah.
your fault.
Oh my gosh.
fuck, come home tonight.
Don't worry, this is not going to air for
No, but
about
she
a
does
week.
handle the scheduling and booking, and like, but that could happen to you know what I mean. Like that is
Yeah, man.
a
It
click
can
away from a mess up when you're dealing with a year out booking.
Yep, absolutely.
I used to work at Ram's Head, and we'd have people show up all the time. It was like the concert, you know, the Bruce Hornsby concert was last night, and tonight's the, you know, Hall & Oates concert, and people are showing up with their Bruce Hornsby tickets, and it's like, sorry, that was
missed it
last night. Every once in a while, they'd be a day early, and that was a little easier, you know.
Right. When it's in the past, it's kind of hard. It's like shit.
But when it's in the past, it's tough. How many hours a week do you think you work? Do you have any idea?
Nope. I mean, it's
Depending on what's going on, kind of thing.
that's probably where I struggle the most is with like having a consistency to it. Like I don't have like work from this hour to that hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
very. But when I take time off, I take time off. You know what I mean? Like I will literally just like disconnect. And but I do not have, like I said, I probably struggle in that area the most with like having I mean, I get the jobs done, but I don't have a set schedule
Yeah.
at all.
But and you're not like setting aside like so I'm married, so it's a different situation. Well, you're basically married, but like we'll sit down and like figure out how many hours, you know, can like this is the amount of hours we want to spend on these things, and then plug them into where that's going to happen or whatever. But like
Totally logical and I don't do that.
but that takes time. You got to set. You got to put that on the schedule. When are we going to sit down and do this again? You know, it's like so. But anyway, that was just a question because I think that's the struggle for most entrepreneurs is like, when do you stop? When do you go home and be done for the day? You know, and it's very hard especially with cell phones and when you're booking shows and you know, you're getting emails about a new wedding or whatever. So you know,
and I'm starting to become. Hope this doesn't sound, but more and more of like a family man. You know what I mean? Now that like, if I see a moment that needs to be seized, like taking my daughter out to the beach or like go, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you got
something
some good
like
stuff like that for sure. That
I
you
will
post.
100% like prioritize that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's just like I feel like you have to.
Well, it's still, you know, it's still like helping you because it's just more experience.
content.
It's just more. I mean, not, sure, but I
get what you're
meant
saying,
like
though.
just
Yeah,
like it's just more practice. Not that you need practice, but you know what I mean. It's still like very much related to your full time.
is that what you meant though? I thought you were saying like if I have a chance to take my daughter to the beach, I'm going to prioritize that over work. But you're saying if
That's
I have
what
a
I
chance
meant at
to
the
go
core, but
shoot
9
my-
times out of 10, I do have like, you know, I will capture that moment as well.
Okay,
You know what I
gotcha.
mean?
Right.
But 100, there should be a line between that too. You know what I mean? Like putting the camera down and being in the moment as well.
Yeah.
It's just like,
How often does that happen? Like when you're in a moment and you're with your family and you don't capture it, like just for the specific purpose, not because you forgot your camera or something, but like just for the specific purpose of like just being present in the moment and not worrying about capturing it.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah.
I'm always, because,
It's where your mind is,
It's
man.
instinct,
I totally
yeah.
get
That
it.
looks
Yeah.
great.
with losing people, like my cousin and then my mother, like I have that much more of a desire to have those memories.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And it's like I wish I had more, like videos of my mom so I could hear her voice. You know what I
Right,
mean? And
yep.
like, so it's almost like it's such a double-edged sword, because like you're stepping out of the moment to get the moment to then reflect on the moment later. So it's like,
It's quite a
Yeah, but-
philosophical conundrum.
Yeah, in a way it is. Man, I just bumped the microphone.
Joe, you're perfect.
Can you
You did
believe
not.
that? Jeez. But no, I like this past Christmas, I made a video, of everybody opening presents and stuff on Christmas Eve, and I mean, I was there witnessing it too.
Yeah,
but I was
yeah.
behind the camera, but like,
and you're enjoying yourself too
Yeah.
doing it. So
and man, like I just watched it again just a couple nights ago, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I got this, and I put it on YouTube, but like it's private, so like only my family can see
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and
that's another cool thing too, is like providing other people. I'm not trying to be like holier than thou or whatever, but like sacrificing your time
Yeah.
to like for other people to
yeah, so they
have
can
that
watch it.
memory.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my dad wasn't he wasn't a photographer, but we have so many videos, and I think this is probably a lot of people experience this, and you're just like, Dad, turn the camera off, and then it's like
That was
he dies, and you're like, I'm so thankful for all these videos, you know what I mean? Like, and even before he died, I mean, even when I just got a little older, like, and to look back on the the Christmases and the things, and it's like, I mean, it's wild to think that not that long ago people just straight up had to rely on their memories,
Right,
like,
right.
and it's like, and you start to forget what somebody looked like or sounded like. You're saying, like, what do they sound like? You start to forget that, and to be able to reference a video, and then to be able to reference a high quality. I mean, seriously, like, that's awesome. Ours are just like the typical home video, but to have like a nice looking, like more accurate representation of what it was actually like and all that. I mean, it's
Yeah, I feel like back in the day, like I'm sure you had talented videographers or people with a camera, but like back in the day, just like my dad, same way, he had a VHS in his hand, same thing, put the damn camera down, or you know what I mean, like always trying to like control a situation to get the moment. Shit, I don't even know where I was going with that. Joe, where was I going?
you said there used to be. Are you sure there were good videographers? But
It was very much the vibe of, there was no artistic,
right,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
no
Just point and shoot.
Yeah, there was no like, which I do as well. Like when I'm just like out and about, like I don't really care. But obviously, you can never just like shut up the creative in your.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
well, you have that knowledge in your mind, so like you're paying attention to the lighting, and if the shot would be
Exactly.
tighter, or
Yeah,
should
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Should I
yeah.
back up some? Which angle is going to be good?
Yeah.
Like you just do that instinctively. I
So
would
to your
imagine.
point, yeah, like it's cool to. I think about that from time to time. Like, what is like whoever in 20, 30 years from now when they look back on this quality or this kind of video, like what's their perception going to be of it? Because like at that point, everyone's going to be walking around with goggles and, like in a
Right,
virtual,
right.
like, you know what I mean?
That's
Or what's
interesting
the
thought, yeah.
what's the standard going to be at that time? And
Right.
is my video going to look like old school throwback to that? Obviously it will, because
Yeah.
time.
Man, I think like maybe I'm getting a little too far ahead here, but I think that like that authentic, realness is always like people just in general are always going to come back to that because like we have, what Apple has some kind of 3D things and like there's all this, technology will get to that place where like you'll just be able to imagine something. I want to watch Netflix in my mind. Like, okay, sure, no problem.
Blink your eyes.
Right, but like that real picture or that real video of your family, I just think that people will always come back to that.
100%.
I mean,
You've seen the Apple goggles, or what are they called?
I've seen them on YouTube.
Provision or
Yeah,
something.
like that.
I think the lines are getting blurred in a sense of you can film with those things on, right?
I didn't know that.
And then, no, I'm just like saying like follow me. Like you can film with those things, and then like taking the concept we're talking about, like 10 years and that person passes, you can put those goggles back on
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, you know what I mean? You're not watching it on TV. Like you're in the goggles fully immersed in that moment.
Right,
So you're
that's
almost
so
like in
weird.
that VR, AR, whatever,
Right.
like world of that moment to
Yeah.
where like it's crazy. It's crazy. to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so like the video, instead of it being like a outside in perspective, it's gonna be like I go watch my Christmas video and I'm back. I'm in.
You're there.
in the video.
You're there, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild.
We're there.
It's gonna be wild.
So then, like that generation of people looking back on like our home videos with our like cool little, you know what I mean? There'll be a big gap
Yeah.
between that and that,
Right.
in a sense. You know
But
what
I
mean?
think
So-
the like younger generations that will have only experienced what you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be like, "This is so cool!" Like, you know, it's like so nostalgic and old.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
It always comes back full circle.
It's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like real images.
Like, how do you take your pictures, Joe?
Is that a
Not
rhetorical question?
like how. What's your style of edit you prefer?
Like more vintagey, you know.
You know, just point proven with meaning
Right,
like
right.
you know you love that
New
generation
answer.
will love that that throwback style.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure. For sure. I mean, kids these days are wearing 80s mustaches, so there you go. You know what I
Very,
mean?
very true.
Have you noticed that? Most
Yeah.
20-year-old guys, get your
Not moving my
foot out of my way,
Joe.
Mike.
Not moving it.
He's like kind of planted in the ground. He was like,
I don't care if my foot goes
shall
to
not
sleep. I'm not
pass.
moving it. All right. Well, mustaches is a good segue into our every episode thing where we take a look at Mike's hair.
Oh god.
And
you be done with this?
no, it's got to happen. We got to keep it going. So,
I need to get a new hairstyle. That would be good.
well, maybe
One day I'm
Maybe
gonna
you
come
should
in here
just,
with a
like,
shaved
comb it or
head, dude, and
something.
it's gonna be awesome.
Stop coming in here like you just woke up.
I did just wake up.
Carlos, if you were gonna rate Mike's hair on a scale of 1 to 10,
With nothing to
what would you give it? And please give us
Refer
a you know, don't worry about hurting his feelings.
"Can
or
I touch
anything.
it?"
Oh,
yeah, sure.
no one's ever
It's a
asked
little
to touch
greasy
it.
today.
Oh, it's squishy.
And look this way, and then other way. I'd give it a 7.8.
Okay,
Okay.
7.8.
What do you got, Joe?
Well, you know, face me.
Would it help if I ate a popsicle while you did this?
No, it would not. You have that side looks pretty good. When you look straight on, you have one, like it's not one hair; it's like one clump of hair. Look at Carlos so he can see what I'm talking about. You see that one? It's like a horn.
Something about Mary. Look,
Yeah, it's like this separate little horn thing. It looks like you missed that. It really does. It
see what
looks
you're
like you missed it. So I'm gonna go with plus the sides of your hair is longer.
Dude, I know. It's
That's
driving
a
me
joke
crazy.
from the last time.
That's still driving me crazy.
I'm gonna go. Would you say 7 point what?
8.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna go with 6.6.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you've had some good hair days, and today's not it.
Lately, dude, I'll tell you what it is. It's this daggone new
This daggone.
new product. Ever since they discontinued my product, my hair hasn't been the same.
We on
I don't
this
think
again.
I don't think it's ever going to be the same. I'm going with a 3 today because that's how. Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's
the
low.
sides are. It's a mess, dude. I'm so unhappy with my hair lately. Ever since we started doing this segment, things have been going downhill for Mike Watsky's hair.
You know, it's crazy. It's
grow a
like
beard either.
the perception of it. Like my rating of his hair is based on my hair thinning and me not having hair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's how this whole thing
You know what I
started.
mean?
Is Joe's weird
We're
obsession
in the
with my
the
hair.
hat crew. We
Yeah,
both of us have no hair.
So, I mean, like,
So you know what, Mike?
like if mine went
You
from
guys got the beards, you know.
Yeah.
so-
Yes, we do. We both
jealous
have
of that,
voluptuous beards that you do not have. You have a baby face and a goatee.
Yeah, dude, I'd get so many more gigs if I had a beard.
Why
anyway,
didn't you grow one? You were supposed to grow one. What happened?
I keep bailing out on it because there's this. It's like there's this real. I feel like it's
awkward
going to be a
stage for
really
real.
long, awkward stage
Yeah,
for me, and I just can't. I can't do it.
I think I'm gonna go bald soon. I mean, I'm gonna like shave bald soon.
Is that right?
My daughter really wants me to do it, and I'm like
Does she?
terrified.
Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, it's the same
Dude, I
time.
used to-
Let me
I
see
used
what you
to buy
guys.
this-
See what I got. Come on, it's fine.
I used to shave.
You
there.
got more hair
guys
than
got
I
the hair-
do.
You got the same exact hair.
Jeez, I got a receding hairline. Yours is at least like.
yeah,
I mean, but
does
where
have
you have
evenly
hair, you
thin.
have hair.
Look at the top of my head, man.
Yeah, Carlos got more in the side
I know.
areas. Yeah.
If I had as much hair as you, I probably wouldn't wear a hat all the time.
I know, but I'm in that weird phase of like.
But like you just
I
said, it's
can't-
about perception, right?
No, yeah, true, very true. But I feel like I can't like do nothing with my hair. You know what I mean? Like
Well, it's hard to
can't,
do
like-
anything with your hair when you don't have any.
Exactly. So why would I not wear a hat?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if
I
you
hear
do, if you go bald, I think go bald, dude, for real. Like it's a bold move. It keeps people wondering. I mean, they don't know. Like, are you doing that on purpose? Like, I have hair. I used to shave my head and then my wife's like, you look like what are those people called? People that wear the Doc Martens and all that. Skinhead.
You
Yeah.
look like a skinhead?
Yeah, she was like, you look like kind of mean. Like, I think you're scaring the colored people around you. So I grew my hair out. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
True story.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
That is that's an interesting story. Yeah, don't do that again. Even though I only gave you a 6.6 today, I mean, you got a pretty good head of hair, so you should keep it.
It's going to get shaved here one of these days. You're going to love it.
All right. Is that white? Is that natural, or did you do
Joe,
that?
you already knew the answer to this.
What I want the audience to know.
They know the answer to this.
That you-
Well,
that
if
you
they've watched
died.
all 5 of our podcasts.
Oh, did I ask you on the
It's
podcast?
natural. It's natural, yeah.
Sure.
Every time I adopt a kid, I get a bigger...
I got like the gray patch right here. Can you
Oh
see
yeah,
it?
you do have
Oh,
a gray
yeah.
patch on the bottom of your
Just on that side?
goatee.
Yeah.
No, you got a little bit on the other side too.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Hard to
You know
see
what?
when you're
I
blind.
never noticed. This is very interesting until we
Let's hear it.
started doing videos. I never noticed that your goatee is like red.
Oh, yeah. It's
Like
very
in
rare.
real life, it doesn't really. I mean, now it does because I've noticed it, but I never really know. I always just figured it was like the same color as
Yeah,
the
it's
rest of your hair.
always been, and I don't
You got
know
a
why.
red beard,
It's weird, yeah.
red mustache.
Like half ginger.
face.
Yeah,
It's really strange.
so. All
Why
right.
do you dye your
let's-
mustache red and that one patch of your hair white?
When?
Why?
Why?
Reminds me of, like
The real
Storm,
question
like
is
the
when.
X-Men.
Yeah, dude.
Storm.
All right, what else you got, Mike?
All right. These are just. I was gonna ask you these earlier because I'm just curious about them, but I'm gonna ask you now. What kind of hobbies do you have? Do you have any hobbies? Things you do for fun? This is always a tough one for people that work for themselves because usually their hobby has become their job. So that's why I'm curious.
If I was to like, I don't know if this is. Yeah, if I was to like kind of cheat the answer, like my hobby inside of filmmaking would be like nature,
Okay.
like filming wildlife.
I'll take it.
You got some really awesome like eagle shots and
Yeah, that's
stuff
my
like that.
that's like my
Yeah.
passion for my downtime is I'll just grab a camera and just go out to the beach or go find an eagle or something.
Okay. If you woke up tomorrow and you either, for whatever reason, you couldn't do this anymore, right? Whether you because you forgot how to do it or your fingers didn't
What we're
work,
talking about, like
audio,
like,
video,
yeah.
yeah. What would you do?
If I woke up and could not do that anymore,
Couldn't do audio, video anymore. What's
Well, it
your?
depends on why he couldn't do it.
Well,
I would
okay.
imagine.
Let's just say that you have to do something else.
I was just my mind was just like that's gonna be a good part in the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, just itches his mic.
I know, dude.
I was like,
I know. I thought
that's
it
all
too.
good.
So for whatever reason, I don't know the reason. Let's say there's no physical handicaps. Let's not put that on you.
Why
Let's not
wouldn't
put
he just
that
keep
juju
doing
on
what
you.
he's doing?
Right.
He loves
Joe,
it.
shut up.
He just said it's his hobby and his job, Mike.
I know. What there's got to be there's got to be something else. Maybe there is nothing else. Maybe this is
You got to give him a reason. Why can't he do it
ridiculous
anymore?
question. Okay. You've lost the ability to do. You've lost your knowledge of and passion of audio and video recording.
Well, what would I do from that point on?
Yes. What's your dream job outside of this? Like rapping? Would you like to rap?
Oh, 100%. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing music.
you go. I answered for you.
But you said audio. You said audio, video. So I thought you were kind of grouping
Like-
music.
Yeah, he did
into
say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 100%, I would be doing.
I feel like you
I would
should
be
have
doing
planned
music
this.
for
See,
sure.
I don't as a musician. I don't think of myself as an AV person. I think of myself. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. So yeah.
Here's a question: Did you do that on purpose? Avail visuals,
No.
audio visual.
But I
audio-
really, I quickly realized what that was
It's pretty interesting though.
when I was making the logo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how, like somewhere on Google.
You should tell people you did it on purpose.
100%.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
I have a question. Can you explain? So to plug some of your cool stuff that you put on Instagram, that thing that you did the other day with the roll of tape and your phone with the AV, logo and like the water droplets. That was so cool. How did you do that? Can you just explain it a little bit? I mean, yes, there's a video of you doing it, but can you just like explain exactly what you did so I can steal it from you?
So I saw a TikTok video
Okay.
and I was like, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much like you are right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had all the things around the house that I needed to do it. And basically it's just like it's done with a macro lens and it's like a magnification, I guess.
I need to buy a macro
shot.
lens, Mike. Yeah.
And it was done with just putting my logo on my phone screen.
Right.
And I needed and then you needed a something clear, like a plexiglass or plastic, something clear that you can spray water droplets on, but you need separation from that in the phone, so you can get that magnification through the water droplets, and then put the clear sheet on top of it, spray it, and then obviously have your macro lens camera on a tripod, so you're not like don't handhold it.
Yeah.
And you just mess around until you get some really cool results.
Yeah, it looked awesome because like you probably didn't see it. I don't know if you did see it, but like. So the AV logo was on the phone, and then the plexiglass was on top of that, and then he sprayed water on it, and the AV logo was in each water droplet. Like,
oh, wow.
It's super focus. Yeah. I'll put it on the screen right now.
Whoa.
Cool, huh?
Wicked.
Yeah,
Wicked.
I got a really big metal print of that hanging in my room.
You know what else I thought was cool? Some Instagram video that you did. It was at Christmas time when it was like the mother and the kid, and it was like a box, and like you like cut out a place for their head to go in, and they were like this, and then there were ornaments around their head. That looks so cool too.
Oh, I did see that. That was really cool. Yeah. I remember thinking that was like,
and that was the idea she had sent me. It's all like.
Yeah, and then that's in your repertoire after that, right?
Yeah.
So the next time you do a Christmas shoot or whatever you call it.
Yeah, and I mean it's eye catching, so people will see that and get excited and want.
And there's little like behind the scenes, like this is how we did it. You know, I think that stuff is so cool. There's this other guy that I watch on YouTube. I can't think of his name right now, but his videos are like they're like 30 minutes long, and the first part of the video is like the video, right? Like the finished product. Like you see that first, right? And it's like it's kind of like I'm trying to do some of these update videos that I've been posting like loosely based on what this guy does, but it'll be like a shot of he's in his car and he's driving and he's like, but it's the camera's back here and he's like talking, you know what I mean? And he's driving. And then the next shot is the camera's here and he's like finishing the sentence. And then the next shot is him like getting out of the car at the park, and then the next shot is, you know, and they're all put together with like J cuts and L cuts and stuff, and and then so the finished product's only like maybe 3 minutes long, and then the whole rest of the 30-minute video is him showing you how he did it, like all the behind the scenes stuff, and it's just so cool because it's so simple, but he'll be like, yeah, so I like the one shot was he had the camera on a tripod in the back seat, and he's, you know, in the driver's seat. And it's focused on the rear view mirror, and he's like he's driving, but he's looking in the rear view mirror, like looking at you.
Yeah.
It was so cool, man. And then like shots, he'll like pull over in the parking lot at night, and it's like, okay, here's a lamp, you know, a street lamp.
Is this YC Imaging?
That's him. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
He was one of the first YouTubers to put like music video tutorials out there, like way back in the day. Like he was, you know, probably 8-9 years ago. A lot of people, there were like a handful, like maybe 3 that I could think of that crossed that boundary, because before that it was like this, how do you make a music, you know, you really had to be in the in that path or in that community to know, and that there was not a lot of people telling how they did stuff. He was one of the big I guess you could say mentors, or someone I watched growing up to learn a lot of music video stuff. But he's super, I love his angles, his compositions, like you said, the way everything cuts, it's just very like you could tell every shot is well thought out, super well, and
it's so cool how he explains it all. You know what I mean? Explains how he's doing it. Like there's another one where he's in that same parking lot, and like it was like the street lamp, so he's like talking about motivating the light, right? But he's not using the street lamp. He's like using another tube light, but you can see that there's a street lamp there. Yeah. And he's like in his car, you know, and the window's open and the camera's on a slider. So he like gets the focus just right on himself, and then like the camera is sliding past the rear view mirror that's out of focus, and then he's in focus, and he's like talking to you the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, that is so cool. Like, but
It's funny. He dropped another video probably like a week ago, and I watched it, and I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes he annoys me because he will, and I'm not throwing shade. This is just me as a creative. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll watch him, and he'll like complain. Like he'll do a gear review, and he'll be like, and he'll jump from sometimes he'll get focused on the gear and just start complaining about it. Like, I don't like this anymore, blah, blah, blah. But I don't even know why I said that, but like I was just being honest. Like sometimes I don't like his content, but when he does what he does, like what you're saying, it truly, like I watched the video last week, it inspired me. Like I still to this day, like I want to go out and do like a shoot just like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of discovered this guy. So, and I could see, he's been
if he
around
sees
for a
this,
long time.
you know what I mean? By any chance,
Hey,
like
man,
I said,
we're sorry. All right.
You know
We love
I
your
stand by what I say, but I love your work.
Yeah. But you know, it inspired me too. I was like laying in bed. It's like 11 o'clock at night watching like the first video I found of him. And I'm like, I want to do that. Like, that's cool, you know? Cause I'm like, I want to make videos, but sometimes like what should I make it about? Like, I can tell people what gigs I have this week, you know, but other than that, that's why like, you know, I'm kind of so eager to do, you know, the YouTube video or this stuff, you know what I mean? Cause I just want to do things, but it's like coming up with what to do them about is kind of difficult sometimes. And it's interesting. Like this dude can make like, he's like, okay, I'm going to make these videos, but then I'm going to make it like 3 times as long because I'm going to explain to you how I did it. I was like, that's fucking genius. You know what I mean? It's like 3 times the amount of content.
You could just do that, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, the whole, like setting up everything for the behind the scenes in order to explain how you're doing it.
Yeah, jeez.
Like,
he's got like 2 layers of
Yeah.
shot and then capturing the BTS of the shot, so then he can. It's.
So
and
even
I've never shot that way. Like you're ahead of the game on me, and that like setting up a camera and sitting down and be like, hey, this is what's going on. Like I have no experience in that world, but I know how all this operates. So every time I see it, I'm like, bro, how long does that take?
Yeah,
to
right.
like, unless you, I mean, you know, you have the power to have like an external monitor in your hand, so you can like do this, and you have Bluetooth light, so you can, you know what I mean? Like you have certain ways, but like majority of the time, there's certain things you can't do. Like if I got to move that tripod just a little bit this way and turn the focus, you know what I mean? And then go sit down and come back, and then
it's so much back and forth. And I mean, the ones that I've watched, like he's explaining. It's like a lot of that. You know, I went and sat on this fence, and then I got to go back and look.
Yeah.
You
The ones that really get me is like when they, when you see like a video of someone driving up to a location.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, like you really, you know what I mean? You had to like get out, totally like set the camera down, turn around, come back. Like I'm like, dang, that just seems like
that guy. Donna did it. I'm sure you've seen his video. He does a lot of that stuff where it's like him going on hikes and stuff, and it's like he'll pull up, and then he's getting out of the car, and then he's like goes down this trail, and it's like, you gotta literally pull up first, set the camera up,
down
and then
that
drive
trail
away,
before.
and then come back again. You know what I mean? And then walk down the trail, and then come back and get the camera, and then go. You know, so it's like,
and more than likely check the shot every time to make sure you got it. You know what I mean? So it's like
because you might not have the framing exactly right. You know, maybe I walked through and it looked great, but my head was cut off or something.
100%.
Yeah, dude.
It's a whole.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. I don't know. Maybe
I admire it, and I think it's cool. I watch a lot of van life for stuff with one guy in particular, and like he just does it with a GoPro in it. He's from I want to say like Westminster.
Oh, really?
So he was, and I didn't find that out. Anyways, but like he does it all with GoPro, and like I saw his whole come up. Like, you know what I mean? He had no idea about, you know, filming or anything like that. He was just good at like converting a van, and then he just went across the fucking country. And anyways, it was cool seeing like him almost in real time learn it, and now he's at like a point where he's not like, I wouldn't say a phenomenal filmmaker, but like using certain tactics and stuff like that. But you know, just seeing that grind of like that was just, you know, I'm just gonna capture and document this part of my life. And then now he was working like at Pax River down by my house, like this naval base, and totally left it for YouTube, and now he's just like traveling the country, just coolest job ever.
Dude, I wish
Seeing the
I had
world,
gotten
yeah.
my shit together earlier in life, like, because I did so much cool stuff. I was in Juneau, Alaska, for like
That is dope.
a year of my life. You know what I mean? I could have made so much cool stuff, but I was doing other things then, Mike.
I'm surprised you didn't do this earlier too, man.
I know.
Just like,
I know. I mean, I started very similarly to what you were explaining earlier. Like I was making videos of my band with my phone. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, these are cool,
I
but
saw real quick before I forget.
go
I
ahead.
saw your first, like not your first, but like one of your first videos, and I guess it was off your older Sony, and you're just like on the side of the road somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, it was like probably the first like announcement video
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
ever done, and I was just looking because you had just posted like your newer one that day, and I
Right.
was like, whoa,
Yeah.
like that little gap of time and just like hustling and learning, like
that's good to hear.
did wonders.
You're saying it was better. The new one is
Oh
better.
my god, so much better. And not that the old one was bad, but you
Right.
could just tell that like
was
so
what it
much other things were
Yeah.
applied,
Yeah.
you know, in one to the other. You're just like, yeah, it's funny. as shit.
Yeah.
every time I see
video
Joe,
is
he starts explaining some new technique or color grade or something that he's
Right.
learning about. He's like, which is awesome.
You love hearing that stuff, don't you?
I do. I love that you want to tell me. It makes me so honored, and also just I love. You know, it's like you're passionate about it,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, dude. You went from I can't think of a word that rhymes with pro that means like loser. Zero to pro. I don't know, something like that.
Oh man, but yeah, you know, but what I was saying is like, yeah, it was something that I was like, this is really cool, you know. And there's a whole world to like learn about, you know what I mean, and that was very interesting to me. So it's you know, technology is awesome. It sucks sometimes too, but like the stuff that you can learn about so easily these days is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, YouTube and you, really, there's only two like educations I've had.
I had like
in this
one or
area.
two mentors like personally that I knew like in my area, but besides that, it was YouTube University all the way. And like I'm not saying like I was at the start. I feel like I was at like a curve when I started that like professional cameras were becoming way more accessible, and things that were like only available on like crazy budgets were like becoming available.
Yeah.
YouTube was like super blowing up because of like that scene, and like because people were getting cameras and making tutorials, and like it just like all surged together. So it was like it was cool to be at that curve and kind of like and kind of grow with it. And like I can only imagine like 10 years prior to that, like how did a filmmaker
Right.
survive, or like
Yeah, you go to film school or whatever. Like,
yeah, but like even the technology part of it, like now you
yeah.
can just a memory card, you format it, you back it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back when like you legit had film, you know what I mean? Or your what are they, 8mm or what are the film ones? The I can't see it.
35.
No, like the tapes you would play them back on, like that your dad would have. Would be like
yeah.
an
Oh, right,
8mm
right.
tape or something, and then you'd put that in a VHS converter. You know what I mean? So you,
I
then you
know
could put
nothing
that in
about
that.
that,
Yeah.
right.
So like that was like a real thing, and like I think some were rewritables, but anyways, it's just a whole different world. You know what I mean? Of
right.
how you created and how little you could fuck up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
And not
yeah.
pay for it.
Yeah.
Same with audio, man. It's crazy. I mean, you listen to some of those old Beatles records, and it's like to do this now would be like a project, and they were doing it with cut and tape, and like it's crazy, man. Just nuts.
But
Like
that
that's
gap,
how you cut a video, like back in the day. Like that's why when you cut it in your, you know what I mean, you get a
you like
blade.
physically cutting it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in your software, it's a blade, and like it doesn't really, you know what I mean, click. But like no, that's literally what they were doing. They were
Right.
slicing, cutting it, and that's a transition. You know?
And like you just mentioned, the gap between like pro level audio too, you know, what you can do at home with Pro Tools and these microphones, the gap between professional and, you know, consumer these days is like so much. I mean, the term prosumer, right? I mean, I don't even know how long that term has been around, but probably not that long. Yeah. I mean, the camera that, you know, you brought is like Netflix approved, you know, and you can buy it in Best Buy.
Yep.
Like if you got $4,000, but still,
but
you
that's
can buy it.
accessible now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's There's like this, it's like this weird merge of it all, like to where you don't need to have a bunch of money. You just need to be creative, and anyone could, like, I believe anyone could save up and grind and get that camera and then make some shit happen. Very quickly. You know what I mean? It's like back in the day, $20,000-$30,000 that you'd had to like save up.
Right.
You're talking life-changing amounts of money
For sure,
to try
man.
to save up.
Yeah. But you still the knowledge of how to use the stuff too is still
more important.
Yeah,
I mean, because you
it's
see some of the things people
extremely
do with iPhones, and it's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
too, just with that. Yeah, I mean, that's the same with audio stuff too. It's like the knowledge is definitely foremost, but then once you have that knowledge, the level you can take it to with better gear is like, pretty substantial.
It is, yeah, it is. But I mean, even iPhones like are so much better than they were 5 years ago.
Yeah, true.
No.
They got that new you heard of Sora?
No.
What is it called?
Sora, Sora. It's just got released. It's like the new AI I guess it's generative fill version. Like I forget the photo version of it. So it's basically like I wish I remember the name, but there was this AI app. I'm pretty sure it's like in Adobe or Firefly, I think was the name of it.
Okay.
Like you could literally type, Joe sitting on the Empire State Building playing a guitar, and you would get a photorealistic version of like how did he get up there, like quality version. So they just dropped the video version of that.
No.
I did see that
like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's been stirring some things up. You know what I mean? It's like, even with me, like, I'm not gonna say I was like scared, but more so like disappointed.
Right.
And I'm not the guy that's like, no, don't change, don't let technology thrive, because you always, my perception is like, learn how to work with it, learn how to utilize it. You know what I mean? Learn how to be still valuable to that, you know what I mean, to where people will still want to choose you. But it's starting to blur the lines between like B-roll, I mean, not B-roll, stock footage, and B-roll and stuff like that. Like they were saying, like stock footage creators are going to take a real huge hit, because you don't need to pay for it. You just you got your mountain shot in in some other country that you really need for this film. You don't
or something like very specific. I need a playground in the foreground and a Mount Everest in the background. I need a video of that. What I mean?
And then bam, it just happens.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And if it's good too, it just sounds like it is.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's scary good.
The one I saw was like, I don't remember the name of it, but it was that guy. What's his name? MK.
Yeah, that's who released one of the big video, MKBHD or whatever it is.
MKHB.
That's who I saw the Sora software from.
The one that I saw, it might not be the same video that you saw. The one that you saw sounds like it might have been more recent. Because the one I saw, he was reviewing it, and it was good, but there were still weird things about it. It was like, he was like, look at that woman's hand.
Oh yeah, there were imperfections.
And you could see like the hands were all like, the AI couldn't get the hand right.
That's funny, because like when you like do art history class, you like the hands were like the hardest thing for. So it's like it's like late in art history, and when hands become like well done,
even people have trouble.
That's crazy.
With hands.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is.
When you think about it, it probably is the most difficult thing to recreate on a human body.
I guess.
Like
Mike,
the way
you
a
know
hand
that if
is
you're
laying or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I never-
eyes are pretty much the same with variations, but hands like maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought.
Mike, did you?
What, Joe?
Did you know that if your hand is bigger than your face, it means you're a genius?
Means you're what?
Means you're a genius.
Really? Let's try it out. And then what? You go like this?
Take
I was trying to get close enough to you so I can hit you.
We already know I'm a genius, so there's no need to test
Then
it out.
prove it on camera.
Does a genius know he's a genius?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not a genius, so I wouldn't know. But
You just said you were.
yeah, when I was joking. Are we talking about an Apple bar genius or?
All right. So we're about an hour and 13 minutes in, which is a good length, I think. But I would like to ask you, Carlos. So like, you've told us about how you started your business and everything, and there's a shit ton of details in between there, right? But if you could give advice to somebody who is trying to start a videography or photography business in 2024, like what would you tell them?
Hold on, let me get it.
I mean, it could be, anything, or just like a tidbit of something that you've learned that you never would have thought of. I don't know, like just any kind of advice.
I mean, the basic general like react or answer I would provide for that question, I don't know why I said it that way, would be it's like way long over
Joe,
route.
if I were going to
I would just say learn the craft.
Okay.
Like learn the craft, like meaning learn the light, learn why light reacts the way it does, and how to get desired looks through light. Learn why audio is of the foundation of a lot of projects.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get into the gear side of it. And there's so many more things that I could for an example, like learn this, but like lighting, composition, storytelling, like in any facet. Like even when I do a real estate video, I'm storytelling. Walking in the front door and I'm going, you know what I mean? Like,
why should you buy this house?
Exactly. And like, so storytelling, lighting, composition, I would even say, like why, like think of like you got a tool bag, like why I picked this lens over that lens. So like what certain lenses do to a feeling or an emotion or the perception of a video of a frame. Like if I want, to film a female and make her look like the most flattering, like why am I going to pick the 85 or the 50 to make, so the facial features look flattering, as opposed to like if I wanted to make somebody look like a giant epic feel, why would I pick a 14 millimeter and shoot down low so they feel like a giant, you know what I mean? Like, so knowing, like you have this toolkit and knowing why you're picking certain ones type deal. But yeah, learn the craft in general. Like just take the time to learn it before you like, I need this camera because it's so amazing and this YouTuber said go buy it.
Joe usually picks his lens based on like what's the newest lens that he got.
What do you mean?
He's like, look, I got this new lens. We're gonna make it,
and then
we're gonna force it into this situation somehow.
Like I'm gonna, this is being used today because I just dropped $1,300 on it, and
I am gonna force it into this situation.
Yes. This situation is a nail. This lens is a hammer.
Yeah.
No,
The
that's awesome.
only tool you have is a hammer.
Joe's always bringing some new gear we're gonna use.
Everything looks like a nail. I thought you would know that song, but you don't.
I haven't seen The Big Lebowski, I guess.
All right. Here's one last question. Is there something that you can think of like that you learned? It could be, just about business in general, or about having a visual media business, or just about working a camera. Like something that you have learned that you didn't see on YouTube, or somebody didn't tell you. You just kind of like learned it, and it was something that was very helpful. Or maybe not that helpful, just
Should have given these questions beforehand. That's a pretty tough question. Take your time.
So something that was not taught that I learned I learned in the field.
Yeah, that you learned just like through experience.
Be instinctive on capturing moments.
Ah, okay.
That's cool. Have like that sixth sense of
instinctive answer too.
Feeling.
It is.
That's good.
No, but seriously, and I think weddings taught me that was because if you can't like feel an emotion or a vibe coming on and anticipate it, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, that's really
I like that. Cool.
That's the best advice we'll ever have on this show.
Probably.
Cool.
Definitely. You definitely don't give me any good advice on here. All you do is just like.
I give you good advice off camera. You just don't take it.
No, I don't. You do.
So how do you
give me advice?
How do you feel about your jump so far? I know the answer, but I want to know like how do you genuinely like feel like about the future and like your jump?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel really good about it. It's been knock on wood. I'm gonna knock lightly because I tell Mike not to touch the table.
I'll do it with you. Ready?
Yeah, I feel good about it. Knock on wood. It's been good so far. You mentioned like earlier, like things just kind of happen, and that's been my experience so far. Like while we were shooting this podcast, somebody messaged me about doing graduation photos. She's graduating college. You know what I mean?
Loser. She's gonna go nowhere.
She got duped.
No, but yeah, man. I mean, things have been good. Like I've been getting jobs, and I'm trying to do everything at once, which is good and bad. But I don't want to just focus on the working a camera aspect of it and forget about like staying organized and trying to, because I'm not naturally like good with my finances. So I'm trying to focus on that stuff too. Like I finally just went and opened a business bank account. Woo! And feel pretty good about that.
That's huge.
I almost impulsively bought the Mavic 3 Pro the other day from Best Buy, and I didn't do it. I did
a little bit of self-control.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm impressed right now.
Yeah, thanks. I might do it tomorrow, but I didn't do it the other day. I'm so impulsive. I was literally like taking a shower, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in Best Buy. I got money in my account.
It's really a mind fuckery. When,
it is,
dude. When you know it's just so accessible.
Yep.
It's like
and there's so much cool stuff that you can get, you know. But anyway, so yeah, I feel good about it.
What's your favorite lane? What do you like? I want to know what's your future, what you see like you dialing in your future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the video end is really cool. And to even narrow it down, I'm still learning, because I've got a couple wedding videography gigs coming up where I'm just the videographer. So that'll be kind of neat, you know, see what that's like and how much I like it. I've got
you've only done 2, one with me, and then
I didn't do any video, you know.
True.
Just did photography.
True. Okay, yeah. Whole
So
different ball game.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
That sounds
So
like a whole different world.
I feel like I might like it better than
The video side?
The video side.
You won't.
No. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
I'm strongly saying
Cancel
I
those
don't
gigs.
think you will.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
And hold on real quick. I don't mean
Yeah,
The only reason I say this is because it's like a double-edged sword, kind of like the process of it is super intense. Like super,
right.
But the end game, 100% videos all day over.
Oh, yeah,
over wedding
sure.
videos.
You just mean like the time consumption involved, like in
And
the
just
editing.
the layers, the level. Like
yeah.
with a photo job, depending on who you are and how you shoot, like you could just bring a camera, 2 lenses, and a flash.
Gotcha.
With a video job, like just look around. You know what I mean? Like what we have right here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
Make sure everybody's
micing
mic'd
everybody
up.
up. You have multiple angles going from ceremony, and then just take all that plus some, and then throw that all into the editing part of it, and then just like, you know, detangle it pretty much and make it something.
Well, you know, we'll see how it goes, but both of the clients that I have both seemed pretty chill.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure. And that's
Now
huge.
that might
Yeah,
change,
yeah,
you know, but
Yeah.
they were like, you know, we don't want anything crazy. We just want it documented and that kind of thing. And I'm sure that will get more complicated as the date approaches and we talk more. And but yeah,
And also they don't.
some, you know, some are like that.
Right.
Some are just like, this is something I want to do. I know I have it. I know I want to have it, and you know, thank you for your services. And it's like
Right.
super simple.
Yeah, it could be.
And some, like you said, you get the other side of like,
if they can't hear what they're saying on the video, they're going to suddenly change to like,
Yeah, for
it
sure,
should have been
right.
a bigger production. I mean,
yeah, they could be,
Yeah.
or it's just that's my fault. You know what I mean? Which
Well,
it
yeah.
would be. But so anyway, to continue trying to answer your question, I've got another video gig coming up in April, like a promo video. I talked to you about it before for this company called Sour Compressors, and they make like big, huge, giant compressors for like
you were asking me
naval
about
ships
like
and
what
stuff.
you, like the estimate you're gonna get.
Yeah, right. Luckily, her budget was exactly what I was thinking of my
Nice.
estimate, so
Yeah.
that was perfect. You know, and that's gonna be fairly intensive. I've got some people to interview. She sent me an example, like their old video that they did 5 years ago, and then she sent me an example of the newer video that their parent company did in Germany. And like she's like, we want our newer one to be similar to this one that the parent company did. you know, and I mean, they had like, there's like drone footage inside the warehouse.
Yeah, I remember you sent it
you know
to
what I
me.
mean?
It was
And
pretty layered.
yeah, pretty layered, you know, lots of cuts and stuff. Not too crazy, but I mean, there's plenty of footage. You know, there's slider footage
It's
inside.
doable. You just know from being in the world that
Exactly.
that takes a lot of steps.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly. You know, I mean, I allotted like 3 days to shoot it. You know what I mean? But it's going to be really one thing that, you know, I'm sure you experience this too, but like putting it all together is such a cool experience. You know, you've got all these files and audio and these B-roll in this folder, and you know, and then once you put it all together, it's just really cool to see it. It's like building a house or something, you know, with a pile of 2x4s. So, you know, I got that. I really love taking pictures of my 1.5-year-old niece, like little kids. I just
the pure innocence.
I
of
love,
it.
you know, photographing little kids when they're just playing like outside is something that I
the
really
minute you
enjoy.
tell them to you know, smile for a picture, that's the minute you lose it all.
Right.
There's some kids that are photo friendly, but to your point, like in the moment, just like candid.
That candid stuff is awesome. You know, it really is. You know, I did a photo shoot with a local musicians yesterday, a duo, husband and wife duo, and yesterday and the day before, it was a 2-day thing, and that was really cool. Now I came home with like 3,000 pictures, and I'm not really looking forward to going through all those. That part, I'm like, ugh, why did I take so many pictures? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm still learning in that area, but like doing it is fun. You know, I really enjoy that. Like, hey, why don't you guys sit on the bench and we'll see what this angle looks like. Look, let's lean against the tree over here and see what that looks like. And you know, especially when they're
very low stress.
Yeah, they're very open to. They're like, yeah, sure, okay, cool. And I mean, the client. It all depends on the client. Like, how cool are they?
For sure.
But so that was a long-winded way to say that. Like, I'm still figuring it out. You know what I mean? But video is, I mean, it's taken over Instagram, right? So I'll need to focus on that for sure. But I don't know, man.
I feel like I see like you doing a lot of obviously music infused projects, whether it be music videos, maybe jumping in that lane more, or just these like live production, like cinematic live productions. I think I could see you doing.
Well,
that.
I appreciate that, and it's funny I didn't even mention the music part of it, because that's kind of like the reason I got into it, you know.
And you feel like you're meshing like the best of both worlds, and the, you know, two passions are colliding in that moment.
Yeah,
I know when I do music videos, that's exactly what happens. It's just like I'm already thinking about beat drops and, you know, how to articulate certain nuances and stuff like that. But I could see you definitely getting deep.
I'm getting to a point where it's like I feel like I'm just starting to get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just the sound design stuff we were talking about earlier, you know, and like you said, you're thinking about lighting, and like I'm just starting to get that, you know. Okay, like lighting plays such a huge role in how something looks. Like, you can't just point a camera at something and expect it. A $4,000 camera, you can point it at something and it could look like shit if
100%.
you don't
Yeah.
if you're not paying attention to where the lighting is and how you composed the shot, what lens you chose, all those things. You know, I'm just starting to get that, you know what I mean?
And there's a reason why all those are separate jobs on a big budget project.
Right.
Lighting is a specific job. Sound,
like there's
specific
literally
job.
someone hired to pull focus, and that's all they do. Like, that's wild. Like, it's amazing.
A grip. That's literally the guy that would just put everything together, raise the light up. You know what I mean? Like the handler of all the equipment.
Yep.
Like there's literally someone just to move the equipment around.
But it's really cool, man, and it's fascinating. It's a whole new. I've always enjoyed like getting into new things like that, and then experiencing like finding out that it's a whole world. You know, it happened with audio recording. Like, when I realized you can make audio recordings at home, and like you can learn how to do it on YouTube. That was like 10 years ago when I figured that out. Remember, you used to come over, you know, and we would record stuff, and none of it really sounded all that great because I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. But it was still interesting to learn, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just kind of blathering on now.
Nah, it's it's good stuff, man.
That's coming in handy now too. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I genuinely enjoy like seeing somebody come into the the same thing I'm doing and like just watch it take off. Because you get to like vicariously like see it again or whatever, like live through it and see like the light bulbs go off, and then on the other side of that, it's like somebody also to like create with, possibly collab with, and bounce different ideas off. You know what I mean? Like it's a fellow videographer,
right.
I want to say. So it's cool. It's cool to see you. I think there was like a YouTube video you sent me off of your old. I knew like very quickly that like you, even though you say you're just getting it, I knew like probably very early in our friendship that you saw it in the way that could be taken, like this could really be his profession. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, I can't tell you how many people are like, what camera do I buy? You know what I mean? Give me a good camera to buy and blah, blah, blah. Right. And it's not, like I said, it's not about that. It's more about like, what was the process you took to create that? You know what I mean? And once you look into like the inner workings and the mechanics of something, that's how you know someone's like passionate and really wants to like do it. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that.
It's been cool seeing just your little bit of a journey that's already starting to take place. So
yeah, thanks, man. I mean, we got so many things going on. We mentioned the YouTube thing earlier, but like a project that we're starting, that Mike and I are about to start, and I'm really proud that we're like really planning it, instead of just jumping into it. But like the music education YouTube channel, where Mike's going to be the personality. That's the word. I mean, look at him right now. Look at this personality just oozing out of him.
Just oozing out.
No, but that's going to be really cool. I wish you lived closer, man, because I would love for you to be a part of it. But probably not too realistic, but maybe sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always, just a planning schedule away. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm always.
I'm gonna get Carlos to shoot a music video for me.
I would love to.
Too bad you don't have any friends that do it for free. Too bad you don't have any friends that have already shot 10 free music videos for you.
No, I mean like a music video, like with cars that are bouncing up and down, like girls in bikinis and like all that.
I would pay to see that.
Me in front.
Yeah.
Mike, like girls back there grinding up. Dude, every video he makes is just like a Snoop Dogg video. That'd be so funny. Like, I really like to get into the process, and it's like, why do these all look like rap videos?
I'd love to. I've done one country music video.
Oh yeah.
But besides that, everything else has been hip hop, and that's like one of my biggest things I want to do. It's like not a live performance music video. I want to do like a legit music video of somebody in another genre. Could be anything. I'm very versatile.
Outside of hip hop.
Outside of hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really like, that's one of the bucket list things I want to do, is just like get like a really dope artist. Could be country, R&B, doesn't matter. Yeah. Anything.
Yeah. Well, Mike has some original music.
I got some good songs. I always struggle with like, I mean, I guess this is like part of being an artist or a good artist, is that you have the vision for like when you write a song, you're like, yeah, I have this visual of it all, but I don't like, I'm like, what could the video be? Because there's so many directions you just said what it could be too.
Cars jumping up and down.
Yeah, let's make
naked women.
The whole thing ironic. Just
I mean, when I look at you, I see, souped up cars jumping and naked women. Like I'm like, Mike should have like lots of naked women and cars around him all the time.
Dude, your Halo cover, I just want to go on record and say that was fucking phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
I agree.
Like I love how Siege did that.
You did good.
Well, we all were in the creation of that. You know what I mean? That all came together. But the way you flipped it and made a song that I really didn't like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Which was super. It was just refreshing to hear.
Thanks, man.
I got that. My bad. I burnt it off of YouTube, and I got it on my fucking like.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. What I really was super noticeable is everybody just shut up. Like it was silent when
during that song.
Yeah, because everybody was listening, and Doug was like, "This is what happens when there's good music playing." Doug leaned over.
He had his shoe ready, and he was like, "No." Okay.
Which is ironic because I was like, "Doug, shut up."
Yeah,
Stop whispering.
Yeah. No, I should think about doing a music video, man. I don't know. I would love to kick some ideas around with you if you do.
You definitely need a beard first.
Okay.
Yeah,
You think I could take some hair off my
possible.
downstairs area?
Oh, I thought you meant your head. No, don't put your pubic hair on your face, Mike.
Okay, sorry. I don't. But it looks more like this than this. I don't know. All right, should we end this podcast?
We're getting the danger zone now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess this is a good time to end.
All right.
All right. Thanks
for coming
again.
on.
Thanks for having me.
It was awesome.
It wasn't as stressful as I thought it was going to be.
Good. I'm glad.
Joe puts people at ease.
Yeah.
As soon as we cut the cameras off, Mike's going to show you his pubic hair. Make sure that it
Look, what do
matches.
you guys think of this?
It's also it's difficult being in the center.
Right.
I think mentally it does something to me.
Yeah.
Because like I'm literally like camera. I mean,
Yep.
the cameras don't scare me, but just being like the center of it, freaks me out.
I was surprised Joe didn't put himself in the center. I thought
I
for
was
sure.
going to request not to be in the
When
center.
I saw this setup, I thought Joe's definitely gonna want to sit there.
He wants to be the head of the house.
Yeah, well, no, that would have been too much, I think. I think this was a good setup. Yeah, what do you think about this new setup, Mike?
I love it. I love that there's less dead space, I think you called it.
Mm-hmm. He came up with that term.
No,
He said it on the
I don't know.
phone
I'll have to
earlier.
wait until the podcast is all cut, edited. But if you like it, I like it. So.
Really, I set it up this way so that I would have enough other camera angles other than you, so that way we can only hear your voice.
You can
and
never see
there's
me.
no picture of Mike
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
at all. It's just gonna be
The viewership
No,
would drop from 87 to.
We really set up that camera in the front so that it would only see your arms and not your face.
Oh, I forgot to. Shoot.
Did you leave this one on autofocus?
Yes.
Mine. I'm wondering if it gets the back of your head and not my face the whole time.
Oh, I didn't change the. Yeah, it's on auto. That's the FX30.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't change it.
Gotcha.
No, it's on IAF. It'll get you.
Oh, will it?
Hopefully.
Hey, let's all look at the camera right now together and say goodbye. Ready?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.